Peace, peace, y'all. It's your girl B from B&ROSE here. Welcome to the B&ROSE Vision. This space has been activated to support the B&ROSE core values, which are art, intuition, reverie, create beauty, truth and love, and most importantly, relationship to self, deepening the relationship to self through introspection, through reflection, through emotional honesty. All right? So, of course, I could not be in the waxing crescent moon as we are coming into that new moon, Gemini, which is that portal, that doorway into Cancer season without coming with my new moon offering, all right? So, as I've been sitting here just kind of cleaning my cards and reflecting of the message for this collective energy reading and what Gemini, the values and the characteristics of Gemini are. And I kept thinking about the message beneath the message. What is the deeper meaning? What is the symbolic meaning, okay? What is there beneath the surface? When you think about Gemini, you think about information, you think about communication. But I think what a lot of people miss is connection, right? Because even though Gemini has lots of information, has lots to share, information is not the same as connecting, right? So you kind of have to be patient and willing to see beneath the surface, what's going on beneath the information, what's the message beneath the message, okay? So I'm sitting here shuffling my Moonology Oracle cards to kind of see what we as the collective should be focusing on in this new moon energy. New moon is all about new beginnings, releasing, setting our intentions. So I'm just curious to know what message the spirit world wants to communicate to us as the collective, okay? Spirit. You see me licking my fingers because my hands are so soft and these cards are also that. So I want to be able to get a good grip, okay? So that we're able to not miss the message, okay? The message beneath the message. All right, so our oracle card that came out was hold your vision. Hold your vision. That's deep. And I like to give, since we are in a new moon energy, let's see here if there's something more pops out. If not, we'll get into the tarot and explore this message a bit more. See what else Spirit would like to share with us in this new moon energy. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see what pops out. We will follow back up with our Moonology Oracle cards at the end of the reading. Just going to shuffle again our tarot cards and see if we can get something deeper out of this message of holding your vision, of seeing what that message is beneath the message. What is the collective outgrowing? Okay. What should the collective be set on releasing? Holding the vision makes me think about B&ROSE, but it's not about me, okay? I am a part of the collective, but this reading is tapping into the energy of the viewers. And let me be a vessel to communicate the message. Let the message be clear. Let your messengers be clear. Okay? Thank you. All right. Let's see what comes out in the tarot. Can we get more explanation on what it means to hold your vision? What energy is the collective needing to hold on to release during this new moon? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Let the cards speak, and then we'll get into it. Let's see here. Let's get one more. Thank you, Spirit. All right. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. I always love that. I guess that is the result of what it means to hold your vision. Creativity, passion, overflow of abundance, of just confirmation, right? An outpouring of love, of energy from the divine, okay? So during my shuffle, the first card out got was Judgment. Judgment is good going into this new moon energy. Next card out we have is the Four of Cups. Followed by the Eight of Pentacles. Followed by the Hangman. Okay, so this is some good energy here. So what I'm seeing here in this sequence is you as the collective may be in a period of rebirthing. The Judgment card being here can also represent the new moon that we're also going into, which represents that new beginning, which represents the closing of a cycle, the beginning of a cycle, right? So Judgment being here is also signifying a rebirth, that opportunity to have an awakening. It's redemption. It's forgiving what you need to forgive, releasing what you need to release, and preparing yourself, your mind, for that new beginning. Preparing yourself for that new phase, right? Whatever that cycle, whatever you're going with, whatever you're dealing with, this new moon energy, the celestial timing, all of that has come into alignment in order to move forward, in order to close out a cycle and begin a new one. The nature has already given us the rule, the ritual for that, with the new moon being here. And the Four of Cups being here in this sequence could mean that you were probably dealing with an emotional situation maybe, or maybe what you're looking at is needing to have more stability. Four of Cups also on this card representing is the Cancer some symbol, a sign for Cancer. So, and we're also headed into Cancer season, which is that point for home being within, home being the heart, home being that inner contemplation, that inner being, that nurturing part of our nature. You may be a Cancer watching, you may have Cancer in a significant part of your birth chart. However, you may not, right? This energy, I'm sure we all have something, we all have the signs represented in our birth charts, wherever it may be in yours. You might want to double check that. But this could also be a significant to just where you are. Maybe you're in a point of reevaluation, maybe you feel disconnected from the work that you've been putting in here with the Eight of Pentacles. Maybe the discipline, maybe the work that you've been putting in has not been yielding or manifesting the results that you have been expecting in the time that you feel like it should. Maybe you feel like you've been putting the work in and you haven't been seeing the manifestation of it, right? Which leads me back to our oracle message of holding your vision, because the Hangman being here, which is the 12th major arcana, is asking you to surrender to that negative emotion, right? To surrender that negative emotion, and also to change your perspective. It is an invitation of enlightenment, right? Sometimes we need to see things from a different perspective, and that will cause us to have a renewal to our vision, right? Cause us to have faith in that which we are seeking. So even if you need a moment of rest, right? Because when you think about this Four of Cups, this Four of Cups is saying, you see the disappointment of the energy represented, the person representing the energy in this card of being somewhat disappointed, saying, my arms are folded, I'm not in a position to receive because what I see here is disappointing to me, right? It's not worth it. But the divine, the spirit is bringing in another cup. So if he unfolds his arms, then he's in a position to receive. If he takes a minute to pause, to change his perspective, to understand that putting in the work, doing the work is always going to yield fruit, right? You hear that saying, sometimes it's not talent, it's consistency. You think about a person who can be super talented at a thing, but because they won't put in the work, they won't do the work, then they don't get a chance to grow. They don't see the growth, or they don't see it as fast as the person who is willing to do the work. They may not be as talented, but they are putting themselves in position to learn, to grow, to manifest, right? So that's what this represents. This represents that consistency. And also with that consistency, you are building your skills, right? So that energy of that person that you may feel like, oh, okay, you're talented, you can just do this in your sleep. But that person who's putting in the work is gaining on you because they're also increasing their talents. They're also in a position to learn and build more. So with this, the message is pretty clear of holding your vision, of also using this new moon energy as a moment of reset. Whether that means you need to take a pause, right? Take a step back, get some rest, allow yourself to reflect on what you have, what you've been, the work you've been putting in, and allow things to reformation, allow for rebirth to come in this new moon cycle. Maybe you don't need to set any new intentions. Maybe for this new moon, you need to pause. You need to go inward, right? With this being Cancer season, you need to focus on home base, which is right here, your heart, right? Your spirit, your soul, all of that is home, your sacral, your solar plexus, your root chakras. Maybe get into a point of meditation and reconnecting with your why, reconnecting with what you, with your magic, right? And with the Ace of Cups being at the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing this creating an opportunity for a renewal of your vision, of being washed over, right? Of being cleansed. Water is, think about the significance and the symbolic meaning of water and the physical meaning of it as well. You don't even have to get too deep to know that water has cleansing properties. Water remembers. Water has a way of returning us to that state of being that is going to propel us forward. With the Two of Wands also being at the bottom of the deck, I'm just taking some cards from here. It has the ability to reignite our passion with that cleansing, that washing, that resetting, right? And then after that, we have, big Ace of Wands energy. Ace of Wands is that fire, that passion, that fervor you need in order to continue forward. So when this moon cycle, this is a beautiful message for holding your vision, for standing fast. Let's see here if our oracle cards have something more to tell us as we go into this new moon, as we accept this energy. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. If this is a message that you can hold for self, press the like button, okay? Because your hard work is paying off. At the bottom of the deck of the Oracle cards, that's what we have here. And I'll talk to you soon. We're gonna leave the message right here. I don't want these videos to run too long. I want them to be short and sweet. And yeah, all right, peace. Get out of here.